But we're going to the heavyweights.
Oh, yeah.
Beast Boy Barnett and Chase Sherman minus 200 for Chase Sherman, plus 200 for Beast Boy. Over under 2.5 rounds, plus 119 for the over, minus 119 for the under. Are the big boys going to get a finish? This is quite the fight, I got to say. For Beast Boy, I mean, he missed the heavyweight limit in his last fight against Jay Collier. Weighed in at 267.5. He's only 5 feet 9 inches tall. Honestly, just kind of a freak show fighter. Like, I mean, he's athletic for a 5'9", 267 pounder. But that's what he is. He's got the spinning wheel kick against John Vellante, and then just a wild fight against Jake Collier, where he was almost finished and then came back and finished him in the second round. He's 2-2 in the UFC. And that's just crazy. I mean, he's 500 in the UFC. And then you look at Chase Sherman. Chase Sherman's 4-10 in the UFC. And he's had a couple stints, 3 technically, in the UFC. He left the UFC in 2018 after losing to Augusto Sakai. Does a couple fights with Island Fights, goes to BKFC, and then comes back into the UFC against Ike Villanueva in 2020. And then they cut him against the loss to Jake Collier, and then they bring him back because they need someone to fight Alexander Romanov. And he's a plus 1,000 underdog in that one against Alexander Romanov. I don't know. I mean, we were kind of talking a little bit about it earlier. He's a durable fighter. He doesn't have like just crazy, not like a crazy power puncher for a heavyweight. He's more of a volume guy. I mean, he lands 6.30 strikes per minute. Gets hit a lot, though. Chris Barnett, like I said, he's kind of a freak show fighter. In this one, this is the definition of dog or pass to me. Like, there's no chance ever in my life am I taking Chase Sherman minus 200. I've lost way too much money betting Chase Sherman in spots that just looked too good to pass up. And he's never came through, so I'm not taking him. I don't know, maybe Chris Barnett can pull some miracle off again with some spinning kick. But yeah, it's dog or pass to me. Just greasy heavyweights, completely greasy heavyweights. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Chase Sherman has not lost by knockout since 2018, and that was to Augusto Sakai. And the one thing that scares me about taking the dog here is that he's 5'9" at 265 pounds. And I know the athleticism, like, believe it or not, the dude is athletic as hell. I mean, the wheel kick, incredible. And then he finishes Collier and then does the front flip. Or maybe it was maybe he did the front flip against somebody else. But anyways, the dude's athletic for his size. You would never guess it. But you're fighting a guy in Chase Sherman who's 6'4" and is a good boxer. When Chase Sherman doesn't have to worry about the takedowns and he can get his hands going, like, he's not the worst fighter. At least he's technical with it. And he's not, a huge heavyweight where he gasses out because, he has no endurance and he's just, banking on the knockout. So it makes it interesting for sure. I think Barnett is an exciting fighter. I don't know if he's UFC caliber. I think if he were to get, 3-4 wins in a row, he's going to run into somebody who's a lot taller than him, and it's going to give him a ton of trouble. I mean, being 5'9" at the heavyweight division just, shouldn't work. It's worked a little bit for him. 500%. He's 500%, or not 500%. He's got a 500 win average on him, but I mean, the guys he's fighting aren't anybody to brag about at all. And then Chase Sherman, being 4-10, I just don't think this is a fight you can really bet on. Another fight you can't really bet on and be confident in. Chase Sherman should win, and I think maybe he gets it done by decision, just outpoints him because he does have a 5-inch, height advantage, and he's got the reach and stuff. But you just never know with Barnett, man. He might land that wheel kick. I feel like this fight is Chase Sherman boxing and fighting from the outside, and Chris Barnett whiffing on a bunch of big shots the whole fight, and it ends up being kind of a somewhat boring decision fight. I really do. I think Chase Sherman's the pick, but it's just greasy.
I dare you to put money on Chase Sherman.
Dude, there's no way at that money line, though. There's no way. Like, there's no value on him there. I think you got to play a prop in this one.